Welcome to Mikayo Messenger. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, the like button, and notification button, as they seem to be playing with the buttons lately. So be sure to make sure you are subscribed and still subscribed. We do not unsubscribe you here. So if it happened, it was the platform thinking you're a robot. So be sure to subscribe and hit that like button and notification button. Gaslighting. It's something they love to do. Hey, what's happening, Donnie? Good to see you. And I was informed that my last video on the runways melting was missing sound. So I figured I'd come back to kind of cover that and also give you just a little education on gaslighting. Because when I saw this title, I'm like, wow, that's classic gaslighting right there. So as you can see, the runways are melting in the UK, which is just unheard of. The UK is known for having its gray, stormy weather. It's a foggy day in London town. Had me low, had me down, right? But not anymore. The sun is shining brightly in the UK, melting the runways as we speak. And so the gaslighters didn't miss an opportunity to say, it's another sign we're not ready for climate change. Ha, ha, ha. Classic gaslighting. So here they're claiming, right, it's climate change. And if you notice, they changed this title. They used to call it global warming, but then things would get colder. And they thought, well, we can't call it global freezing. Oh, let's just say climate change, and that just kind of covers everything. You mean like what happens every day? Climate change? Like when the climate changes every single day, the weather? They call that the weather. Oh, you mean the weather? Is that what you're talking about? Oh, man. But it's interesting, for 50 years they've been making apocalyptic predictions about the weather. And isn't it interesting, if you scroll down here to this list, it says that Britain will be Siberia by 2014. Okay, so they've just had the hottest weather in history in 2022, melting their runways, but supposedly, according to a report in 2004, they will be Siberia in 2 more years. Now, I won't deny the weather is being modified, but that's a whole nother story, and it's called weather modification. Weather modification is something that's a real thing. People think, oh, come on, that's a bunch of hearsay. But no, that's a real thing. In fact, there is a place called HAARP that's well known for messing with the weather. People say, oh, it looks like it's just a bunch of antennas. Those are $300 million antennas right there. So you got to wonder, what do they do? And it's been said for many years that they are used for weather modification. And how would they do that? How would they modify the weather? You think they'll modify the weather? How is that even possible? It's the whole globe we're talking about, if it is indeed a globe and not an enclosed system. On perhaps a plane, hence the word planet, but that's a whole other story. But in any case, we've got this weather being modified. I mean, clearly, Lake Mead is drying up, right? And meanwhile, Sri Lanka or India are having, or even, I should say, the Middle East, where they never get any rain, or suddenly getting snowstorms and rain, and all these things are happening all of a sudden. So you do have to wonder, hey, Janice, hey, Amanda, you do have to wonder what's going on here. The climate does seem to be changing, right? Now they want to go after your CO2. Hey, Catman, CO2 is what you exhale. Every time you exhale, a tree smiles, okay? Trees breathe in CO2 called carbon dioxide. They breathe that in, trees. And they want to get rid of it. Does that make sense to you? No, what you want to get rid of is carbon monoxide, right? That's the bad one. But carbon dioxide is actually the good one. That's the one that trees breathe in. And guess what? When trees exhale, we smile because they exhale oxygen. And we breathe in the oxygen from the trees. See how that symbiotic relationship works? If you get rid of CO2, you get rid of trees. You get rid of trees, you get rid of oxygen, and you get rid of us. But really what they're saying is they want to get rid of us. That was in the famous TED Talk where he says this has to get down to zero. Mr. Bill, Gates, says one of these has to get down to zero, including people. Ha, ha, ha. Everybody laughed, but they weren't laughing. they'll be laughing. They're laughing on the inside, thinking yes, because we're going to actually take out 95% of the population. So that's the plan. But gaslighting, guys, what is gaslighting? Kind of an interesting term. Well, it comes from a 1944 film called Gaslight. And in that film, a man makes his wife believe that she's crazy so that he can steal her fortune from her. Kind of like they're doing now. They're making us think that we're sick, that we're crazy, whatever they need to do so they can steal America away from us, steal our freedom away from us, steal everything away from us. And that's gaslighting, basically making you think that you're a nut, okay? Making you think you're wrong for questioning your own reality, right? So here's a sane woman. She knows she's sane, but the people around her are convincing her that she's nuts. Have you ever seen that movie Forgotten, where they try to convince her that she never had any kids? And she's like, no, I know I had kids. What are you talking about? So it's that kind of thing, where they're messing with your mind, man. They're messing with your mind. So one minute they tell you, oh, it's global warming. The next minute they say it's global freezing. And you notice they always do this in like 20-year increments so that they make it really urgent, But for example, let's see. There's going to be a new ice age by the year 2000. They said it in 1970. There's going to be a new ice age. Well, did it happen? Did I miss it? They're like, oh, darn. I guess we got to knock a few buildings down instead. Dire famine forecast by 1975. Oh, no. Man, that 1975 famine was horrible. No wonder I starved growing up. That's tough. America subject to war rationing by 1974 and food rationing by 1980. Oh, boy, that was tough. Remember those days? New ice age coming by 2020 or 2030. Well, make up your mind. Come on, which one is it? I guess we missed 2020, so it's going to have to be 2030. Space satellites show new ice age coming fast. Oh, yeah, it's fast. That ice age, all that ice. Man, have you seen the ice? Woo, it's everywhere. Ozone depletion, a great peril to life. Oh, well, now that's probably true right there, but they're the ones depleting it. I heard the planes going over today, kicking out their chemicals, making those nice trails in the sky. Scientific consensus, planet cooling, famines imminent. Acid rain kills life in the lakes. No end in sight for the 30-year cooling trend. Oh, boy. Man, regional droughts in the 1990s that never happened. Temperatures in D.C. that will hit record highs. The Maldive Islands will be underwater by 2018. They're not. They're not underwater. Rising sea levels will obliterate nations if nothing done by 2000, and on and on and on. Okay, so you get the idea. They want you to be afraid. Okay, the point is to keep you in constant fear. Can we keep you scared? Children won't know what snow is. New York City's West Highway underwater by 2019. Famine in 10 years if we don't give up eating fish, meat, and dairy. They want you to eat bugs, guys. Nicole Kidman and other celebrities are saying, eat bugs. Yummy. Britain will be Siberia by 2024. Oh, there it is. It's happening already. They're melting the runways. It must be Siberia is coming in. Arctic freeze by 2018. Climate genius. Oh, man, it's just unbelievable. All these things, man, can you see it all happening? Just as they predicted it? This inconvenient truth? Oh, no. Oil gone in 10 years. Well, yeah, because you keep selling it to other countries. Our strategic oil, thanks a lot. That was in 1966. Oil depleted in 20 years. Yeah, it's all manufactured, guys. If it's depleted, if we don't have it, it's because they're manufacturing that scarcity. That's why it's not happening. Killer bees, not the killer bees, not the bees, not the bees, shouts Nicolas Cage in that movie. Oh, man, Manhattan underwater by 2015. Oh, man, super hurricanes. Guys, are you feeling gaslit enough? Have they put you in enough fear? Have they put you in a catatonic state so that you can't even leave your house because there's a lion in the streets? Urban citizens will be required to wear gas masks by 1985. Well, it took a little while on that making people wear masks thing, but I guess they did accomplish that one, huh? But not because they needed to, but because they scared you into it, just like they always like to do. Now, are things happening with the climate? They certainly are. I love watching the climate videos where there's floods in strange places and snowing over here, but it's not really becoming an ice age. It's not really becoming just one big hot globe. But you know why? Because it's a contained system. It's because of the people who put this false propaganda out, this gaslighting propaganda, are the ones who are actually destroying the planet. And because they're the ones messing with the weather so that they can manipulate things and they can manipulate you. It's a new form of warfare where they can use the weather against you. You know, it says, Jesus said to the Pharisees, so you belong to your father, the devil, and you want to carry out your father's desires. He was a murderer from the beginning, right? That's what they're doing now. They're killing everybody, not holding to the truth, for there's no truth in him. When he lies, he speaks his native language, for he is a liar and the father of lies. Right, guys? So the world is satanic, guys. The leaders of our world are satanic. They literally worship Satan. I know it sounds crazy, but they talk to demons. And so they're trying to carry out their father's desires, which is evil, and lying is their mother tongue. So you got to look at the news. Every time they're putting stuff out, there's always a spin, okay? So when they put out a title like this, they're spinning. They're spinning. It's the spin doctors, right? They're twisting it. They want you to see things a certain way. They want you to question your own reality and say, oh, no. And if you look at the world, you say, well, there is a lot of change happening because you think, wow, well, England's never been that hot. They say, yeah, but also, Istanbul's never been that cold. It's kind of like everything's moved around because they've been messing with it. So, and not to mention God is playing a role here too, because it is the end of the world. So God is also bringing in his climate change, so to speak. But just be aware that you're being gaslit. Be aware that they are messing with your mind. Be aware, and may God set you free. Just want to give you a quick report there about what's going on in the world and the fact that 50 years of predictions have come to naught. So it just goes round in circles. It's just another way to keep you in a fear box. Can you imagine the kind of world we're going to have when God removes all the wicked people from it and all the lies, and we can just enjoy life? But they want to keep you down, man. They want to make you feel like the world's going to end any minute. How dare you? How dare you? Anyway, love you guys. Talk to you soon.